Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Slick Rick, man. The ruler. The rich ruler. Crumbs. It was a robo-double. 5 minutes it lasted. And the man said, "You are, you conceited bastard." So, anyway, Slick Rick. Slick it Ricky. Now, watching Slick Rick's performance showed me a couple of things that I needed to see. When he first came out, I said, okay, this brother's on the level. That's all I needed to know. This brother here is on the level. And when I heard him, the first time I really got a chance to get a gist of him, because on his own was treat him like a prostitute. Hey, don't treat the girl well until you show her the scoop. So when that was going on, I was like, hey, this is my style. This is my speed. But what people didn't realize, or what people didn't know at the time, is that Slick Rick got into an altercation with his girlfriend's cousin or whatever. I don't know what the real gist of the case was, because back then they didn't really tell us the details of what happened with Slick Rick arrest and all that stuff. We just knew he was arrested for shooting somebody. It's like Slick Rick killed somebody. And it was like, what? And then next thing you know, it was, attempted murder. So when he got out, everything around Slick Rick had changed. But while he was in, he lost a lot. Slick right now is still like a known figure because of his style, but the Ruler's Back came out in like 91. And when the Ruler was out, people was waiting for the next Slick Rick album. So when the Ruler was out, came out, and he wasn't around to promote it. All these things were on the table for him. There were movie deals. Def Jam was switching into the music soundtracks, and sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. That was important. Now, Slick Rick lost a lot of opportunities that was lined up for him at the time. You guys didn't realize that Slick Rick was going to be in the movie House Party, when everything was about dance and bouncing and the music era back in the area of what was going on at the time with hip hop and what was popping and what wasn't popping. When they were talking about House Party, it was going to be Jazzy Jeff, the Fresh Prince, Slick Rick, the guy who played Chill. That was going to be Slick Rick's character. He was going to be in the movie as Chill. It was like some crazy things. But it was like, well, Slick's too old to play that role. They were like, all these guys are too old to play high schoolers. Really, but it's Slick Rick. They could pull it off. So they were going to have him play Chill or one of the guys up in the party, But definitely he was going to be in the movie House Party. they had a lot of plans with Slick Rick. And a movie that they promoted called Living Large, Def Jam pretty much promoted that and put that out. And they were hoping to get Slick Rick out. You know, like, okay, Slick might do a year or two, and then he can be out on appeal. So it was just difficult. And Living Large, he was supposed to play the best friend of the lead character. That was played by T.K. Carson, I believe, the guy from Living Single. So they were gonna play he was gonna play his sidekick. And I think it went to the character from the movie Jungle Brothers. And they actually had Slick Rick's song in there for the movie. From the what's his name? It was like the theme song of the movie. The Ruler's Back. And it's like played throughout the trailer and everything. And it's just a mix of Slick Rick that people made and put together and threw together. But they actually used that for the movie soundtrack. So, in 1994, you know, Brian Robbins, who's known for working with Kenan and Kel, and working on the All That show, he decided to direct and go more into film directing, as he directed a movie called The Show with Russell Simmons, and that's where they basically go about the history of Def Jam and Snoop and all these other people behind the scenes. That's why you saw Puffy and everything. So when you saw The Show, Wu-Tang, Run DMC closed the night out, Biggie performed, you had the Dog Pound and Snoop and all those guys got up there and did their thing and performed. It was a great movie. I thought it was very well put together. And they went and interviewed, you know, Slick while he was locked up on Rikers. So during this time, they put out the Behind Bars album, and you can hear the displeasement of Behind Bars. You know, why Slick Rick was locked up, because they remixed his whole album. Had Warren G come in and remix his songs, and they put everything was West Coast at the time, so they changed everything up. And Slick was pissed. He was pissed. You took his album and while he's locked up, you know, you don't do that. You know, Leor was so greedy and just so full of greed at the time. It's just, you just don't do that. A man is locked up in jail. He put his record out the way he wanted to sound, and you altered it. And he's already dealing with a lot. They put him out on his head, man. You know, and that was just uncalled for a man who's already going through a sentence, you know, and then have to deal with this ordeal at the same time. It's nerve-wracking. You know, he got out, and then he's been struggling with immigration over his residency in the United States due to the shooting, you know, and they trying to deport him back to a place he hadn't been since he was 4 years old, so he don't really know anybody in the UK like that. And It's just crazy. But Rick missed out on a lot, dude. And it's just like if Rick didn't go to jail, what would have happened to Rick? You know, like, he would have been the biggest thing in the world. The biggest. At the time, he would have been the biggest artist in the world. You know? So, because he was going right to the movies, and if you just saw Slick in movies, that would have really just blew up, and people have been copying his swag, his character, and everything. But this helped groups like Kid and Play. We started to see them more in film, and that eventually hurt their record career, you know, as far as recording, because people were more gravitating to them being on screen than making the music. Now, as they got older, things changed. But we'll go into that later. But I just wanted to give y'all some heads up on this, dealing with Slick. But, yeah, I'm out. And don't forget to subscribe, of course. And you can leave a donation to the page in the description box. We appreciate it. Deuces.